We're going to start this puppy up. Clear, prop.
And welcome back to Tip of the Week. In this installment, part 3 of building your Zenith Super Duty, we're going to complete the rear fuselage. We resume where we left off at the end of part 2. Here's the baggage back. On the back of the baggage back are the rear stiffeners. These are just L's. And we'll cleco a couple, spin it around, and then rivet from the front. Make sure we rivet from the front.
Flip him over.
We're going to cleco securely and then rivet. This is the front. Be sure to identify the top. The top has the area cut out for the longerons at each corner. Riveting the L angles from the front of the baggage compartment, the baggage back.
And then we're going to rivet from the front. So, in fact, we can kind of just flip it right now. And we line up the notch with the notch on the left and the same with the right. And we cleco that in place.
To leave the lower corner, this is the lower corner, free of rivets at this time, as a gusset will likely be placed in that area. On the bottom will go the bottom channel, and we'll cleco that in place and rivet. Here is the proper placement of the lower channel. Notice that it extends beyond the edge of the bottom skin. The gussets will be installed. There's a left and a right.
I'm going to go one up from there. Just like that.
And here is the proper placement.
And that's not right either. It's going to go way down here.
And
way
here,
down like this.
Here is the new proper placement. Now, at the very top, we're going to install the top angle 6-5. This is a bent angle. And through the pre-drilled holes, we will cleco and then rivet this in place. Here's our bearings for each end of the control shaft, and note, of course, the holes here, which will match up with the rear channel on the floor of the fuselage. One for the left and one for the right. And now we're going to install the bearings for our control shaft, and they're going to go right in front of the rear channel in the pre-drilled holes. You see the red line, that'll be the front set of holes. And the holes here will match up with the holes on the side. And so we will have a row of rivets here, and then the other side. So three areas to rivet. Notice the pre-drilled holes here.
This is probably it.
And notice the clecos in the rear coming in from the back side of the channel into the bearing. Now here's our tube, and one of the bearings is going to go slip over the end, and we grease the end. And that should fit in nicely. And here's the control mixer tube, and we want to assemble these as per your plans. We have our plastic and our bushing in the middle and plastic on the other side, and we're going to slightly grease the area where it rubs. Make sure you check your plans, and we'll put a washer, and we'll double check our plans to make sure that goes right. And then this will end up having a cotter pin, and then one for the other side also. There we go. And we got our cotter pin, and we'll bend this when we know we've got it exactly right, and then one at the other end. We are ready when we have both ends on, and now we can slide this into the unit.
Right, okay, they can move.
It only has a short way to move.
And this one you got put right?
Yep, this should be ready now. Our tube needs to remain off and set to the bottom of the floor until the baggage area goes in. What we're going to do is put the baggage back in now, and we need the clearance of the bar to be down when we do that. And later we'll come back and rivet that in place. The baggage back did in fact fit in its completed entirety all the way in place, and has been clecoed from the top and from the sides. And our mixer shaft has been re-clecoed into its proper location. Now be sure to rivet everything prior to installation except for the circled holes. Those we leave open. Now here's the structure for the ceiling inside of the rear fuselage. I have pre-attached the brackets on each end. Here's what it'll look like at installation time. Like that. Yeah. And then it should be clecoed and riveted.
Go in.
Looking nice. And then this guy goes behind here.
What am I doing wrong down there?
Just like that. All right, and then pull that one out. This one.
Oh.
And back in again. There you go.
Okay.
And the bottom one goes right here. Right over here. Okay. Right here. Yeah.
Oh, there it is, right there.
You see one?
Yeah. Okay. And one down.
Right there. Now move it back and forth until it lines up. back, I think.
We need to review some of the components that make up the jump seat area in the Super Duty rear fuselage. Now, one of the important things we want to do ahead of time is make sure that these holes remain undrilled on the gusset at the corner, each lower corner of the cabin of the baggage bag. This row right here. So if we have previously added rivets, we need to undrill them and leave those holes open. We have installed the cover here and an L angle and an L angle here also. And now we want to look at this cover. This is 50-6. There's a left and a right. It becomes pretty obvious when you hold it up there which is which. But basically, it has a cutout area. This cutout area is going to go around the cover over here. We're on the passenger side right now. This is going to end up going right here, around the cover and then down. And those holes that we didn't want you to fill with rivets are going to match up with the flange back there. And as you notice, the L angle here on the cover and here will help support this as needed. An L angle about this length will need to be added to the rear of this cutout and riveted in place. So basically we have this L riveted in place ahead of time right here, and that will also add support behind the cutout. So 3 L's, one here, here, and here, will help support it at this location. Now, in addition, we have this angle. Now, here's what the one for the other side looks like. It has 2 holes down here and a series of 6 holes at the top. That component will be placed here and match up with the 6 holes and then attach down at the bottom there. We'll get a better look at that. That's right here. And we need to install nut plates on the side here. The holes for the nut plates are already drilled, as we can see on this one for the other side. But that will allow us to put a cover here eventually when we get to that point. The cover then goes like this. We'll end up riveting across the top. And then for in here, we need to add this piece. And there's a left and a right for that. And what this does is very nicely goes in here. Rivets to the front flange and to the rear flange. And also we need to install nut plates along the edges prior to installing this. And that will go like this. Eventually, the reason we have the nut plates in here is that we have a removable cover that will sit like that. And that allows us to remove this cover so that we can get to the components inside, our control adjustments located here. And this will get riveted in the front over here. And we can take a closer look. We want to install all of our nut plates prior to installing this part. Of course, we're going to duplicate this effort on the other side. The seat then will install on top of the 2 channels. It's something like this. There is a back seat, rather the back to the seat we'll install up here. And that's basically how the parts fit together. Screws will hold the seat in at the bottom here and here, and that allows us again to remove this cover and one on the other side to get to the controls as needed. And it's best to install all of these components and rivet them prior to progressing forward, as it will get more and more difficult to work on them. Right now you can stand right in front of this section and finish these components.